And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. We're getting there, not as quick as I want. So hit subscribe, watch, comment. Please keep the comments coming and share with your family and your friends because the nonsense, it's not stopping. And right here on this channel is where you're going to get the truth. Now, meanwhile, this morning at 8 a.m., Secretary of Defense, good old Pete Hegseth, held a news conference to discuss the attack in Iran. The presser ended up being, more of a scolding for the reporters than an actual informative session. And starting off strong, I want to show you a clip of Fox's Jennifer Griffin asking if Pete Hegseth was certain that the enriched uranium had been moved. His response, shocking. Play the clip.
It's about highly enriched uranium. Do you have certainty that all the highly enriched uranium was inside the Fordo mountain, or some of it, because there were satellite photos that showed more than a dozen trucks there 2 days in advance? Are you certain none of that highly enriched uranium was moved?
Of course, we're watching every single aspect, but Jennifer, you've been about the worst, the one who misrepresents the most intentionally. What the president says. I'm familiar.
I reported about the ventilation shafts on Saturday night, and in fact, I was the first to describe the B-2 bombers, the refueling, the entire mission with great accuracy. So I take issue with that.
I appreciate you acknowledging that this was the first the most successful mission based on operational security that this department has done since you've been here, and I appreciate that. So we're looking at all aspects of intelligence and making sure we have a sense of what was where.
Wow. Seriously? In my Substack of this morning, which I called When Bombs Fall, Truth Must Rise, I started off, and this applies to Pete Hegseth, as it applies to the president, as it applies to all of these folks. Let me be clear. I've been in the room where decisions were made. Statements were crafted, and facts were, let's just say rearranged. And one thing that I've learned the hard way is this. In matters of war and peace, it's not only our right to ask questions, it is our responsibility. And that's what she was doing. But you know what? They don't like that question. And let me tell you, Pete Hegseth and all of the enablers around Trump, they're the ones that screwed up. This nonsense about total obliteration and so on, they didn't need to use those words. Had they just said that this strike was strategic and it was successful and our military did a great job, it is inarguable that that was true. But it's the total obliteration. Imagine a reporter asking whether or not any of the enriched uranium was moved, something that should concern every single American, every single person in the world. Not allowed to ask it? You've been terrible? Fuck you, Pete. All right? And if it isn't obvious, Hegseth is performing for an audience of one. And I'll tell you, to be honest, Trump seemed to be pretty happy with Hegseth's presser. Let me show you what was said. In it, it turns around, and this is coming from the Secretary of Defense as a response to the president, thanking him. One of the greatest, most professional, and most confirming news conferences I have ever seen. The fake news should fire everyone involved in this witch hunt and apologize to our great warriors and everyone else. Let me be very clear about something. Pete Hegseth is not that great warrior. And second of all, this presser was far from stellar. By the way, they screwed the whole thing up by coming out with that total obliteration. Why make such an emphatic statement? How about just turn around and take the win? Because in all fairness, whether it's a week, whether it's a month, whether it's 4 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, or total, right? Unless it's total obliteration, it is a win. Why have to lie? That's the whole point. But back to the presser. Hegseth continued to scold reporters, saying that they cheer against Trump because they don't want him to be successful. Play the clip.
Because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump, because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful. How many stories have been written about how hard it is to, I don't know, fly a plane for 36 hours?
Again, a horrible, horrible presser. Meanwhile, Hegseth then claimed that it was the most complex and secretive mission in history. Again, they use these terms that are just so absolute. Let me be very clear. It was not the most complex. It was not the most secretive mission in America's history. And by far, it was not the most successful in America's history. It was a successful mission. It was a complex mission. And yeah, it was a secretive mission, but the most. Play the clip.
Let me read the bottom line here. President Trump directed the most complex and secretive military operation in history. And it was a resounding success, resulting in a ceasefire agreement and the end of the 12-day war.
Serious. Meanwhile, Hegseth then claimed that everyone at NATO, everyone, again, it goes to the full extreme. Every single person there at NATO was complimenting President Trump. Play that clip.
In hunting for scandals all the time, in trying to find wedges and spin stories, this press corps and the press corps miss historic moments. You miss historic moments like 5% at NATO, which when you hear, I was in the closed door briefing. I wish there could have been cameras in there. When you heard the prime ministers and presidents of other countries, to a man and to a woman, looking at President Trump and saying, this never could have happened. Never would have happened. It seemed impossible 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 8 years ago. But here we are because of your leadership.
Yeah, I'm going to bet you 10-1 right now that too is a lie. Maybe somebody did say that to Trump. I'm sure somebody did. Maybe 2 people, maybe 3. But everyone, I'm calling bullshit on that. Meanwhile, Hegseth also suggested that the press should stop asking critical questions and then just wave an American flag and be proud. Play that clip.
How about we take a beat, recognize first the success of our warriors, hold them up, tell their stories, celebrate that, wave an American flag, be proud of what we accomplished.
Yeah. You know, as I write in my Substack, in times of conflict, our democracy demands diligence. Facts matter more than ever. And questions, even when inconvenient. Hey, Pete, listen up here. Facts matter more than ever. And questions, even when inconvenient, are not signs of disloyalty. They are signs of vigilance. So, Pete, again, pay attention here, pal. Let's not rush to paint this as a turning point in America's history until we actually know what we're turning. Because real leadership doesn't fear scrutiny, it invites it. Let me go on to tell you that Hegseth ironically decided to talk about leaks. Talk about comical? Who remembers Signalgate? Right, Pete? Play the clip.
And time again, classified information is leaked or peddled for political purposes to try to make the president look bad. And what's really happening is you're undermining the success of incredible B-2 pilots and incredible F-35 pilots and incredible refuelers and incredible air defenders who accomplished their mission.
Wait. Hold on. So the leaks interfered with the mission, but the mission was 100% success, according to you and everyone, including the president, right? Total obliteration. So then the leaks didn't have. I'm so confused, Pete. What's the real answer here? Did it or did it not affect the mission? Now, Hegseth goes on and he speaks about reports from the CIA about how successful the mission was. So a reporter goes on and asks if we could see the reports. Play that clip.
CIA can confirm that a body of credible intelligence indicates, it also goes on to say, new intelligence from historically reliable and accurate sources and methods. Now, you can imagine.
What is that?
You can imagine the CIA director is going to be very careful about how he articulates things of that sensitivity. Classified, secret, top secret, compartmentalized. He's going to know things that you're not going to know, that the press isn't going to know. And he's reflecting that the sources he's seeing are highly credible. They've given credible intelligence. They or those processes have given credible intelligence in the past. And that's what he's basing it on.
Don't you think we need to see that?
Do you have a top secret clearance, sir?
Eventually, the American public wants to see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Or just, Mr. Reporter, just get Signal and hope that they end up releasing the top secret information on that. What a bullshit artist. Meanwhile, Chairman Cohen was asked a pretty tough question about, I don't know, pushing propaganda. And dear old Pete had to step in and save him. Play that clip.
General, on Sunday you said final battle damage will take some time. And you also said, I think BDA is still pending, and it would be way too early for me to comment on what may or may not still be there at the nuclear facility. So that was just over 3 days ago. So what has changed? Would you use the term obliterated as well?
Sure, like I said, we don't do BDA. I'll refer that to the intelligence community. And
you're talking with them. I mean, what changed in the past 3 days that make you so, you know?
Sir, I think I said.
I think I explained what changed. There was a great deal of irresponsible reporting based on leaks, preliminary information in low confidence. Again, when someone leaks something, they do it with an agenda. And
well, what was your agenda when you leaked the shit on Signal? Asked Clown. And finally, Cohen was also asked if he had been pressured to change his assessment to make it look better for the president. Play that clip.
Mr. Chairman, a question for you. Have you been pressured to change your assessment or give a more rosy intelligence assessment to us by any political factors, whether it's the president or the secretary? And if you were, would you do that?
Yeah, well, that one's easy. No. No, I have not, and no, I would not. My job as the chairman is to offer a range of options to the president and the National Command Authority to deliver the risks associated with each of those, and then take the orders of the National Command Authority and go execute them. I've never been pressured by the president or the secretary to do anything other than tell them exactly what I'm thinking, and that's exactly what I've done.
Good. So look, as someone who's lived both inside and outside that bubble, I'm urging all of us, that's left, right, center, slow down, to ask, to scrutinize, to trust, but also to verify. Because if this mission was as successful as Pete Hegseth is claiming, then we will all benefit from the truth confirming it. But if it wasn't, if vital materials were already moved, if the sites were evacuated, or if the damage is over-exaggerated, well, then we must know that too. And we must then act accordingly. And as always, thanks for listening.
Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.